Okay, so now we're going to think about something called conversation blockers or things that just get in the way of communication. I want you to just watch the vignette and tell me what you see. And also watch for the body language.
Okay.
Wow, well, I would never want to be your age again.
And another thing, my mom and I had a big fight last night. She's so mean and she makes such a big deal out of everything.
So what's the problem?
She's such a neat freak. Everything has to be put in its place all the time, but it's my room and I should be able to do what I want with it.
Well, how do you even expect to take care of yourself someday on your own if you can't even keep your bedroom clean?
I don't live on my own, and I'll keep it picked up fine when I'm older. It'll be my house anyway.
Stop complaining. You know, the problem is that you're just spoiled. Your mom's just trying to help you. Don't you see that?
Okay, that was interesting. What'd you think?
They said, oh, it's not so bad. It kind of like minimized her feelings and made her feel not so like she was listening and actually connected with her.
Right, absolutely. I saw that.
The mentor told the mentee stop complaining,
Yeah.
Very shameful.
Yeah, and this part, when we're talking about, communication with open-ended types of work and not being blocked, it's so important to be affirming. It's so important to think about, we may not agree with our mentee, but we need to affirm that their situation is real, and it's real to them when we hear them. And so that piece of it, we always want to leave them feeling like we've uplifted them in our conversation. And the other part is that we want to sort of get them to talk. We want to flesh out what they're really saying. So both of those pieces are critical in communication. Let's think about that and watch the next vignette and see if there's some improvement.
Okay.
Wow, that's such a bummer, girl.
And another thing, my mom and I got into a big fight last night. She's so mean and she makes such a big deal out of everything.
Can you give me an example?
She's such a neat freak. Everything has to be put in its place all the time. But it's my room and I should be able to do what I want with it.
Well, if you could have it any way you wanted, what would you want?
I'd like her to leave my stuff in my room alone and let me keep it the way that I want it. I can find whatever I need whenever I need it, and she just doesn't get that.
Yeah, I know. It's a pretty tough place to be in when you want to feel control over your stuff in your room, but you still live in your parents' house. So, how could you talk to your mom about how you're feeling and what you would like?
Well, if she would ever stop yelling at me, maybe we could talk about it.
Okay, well, let's assume your mom has stopped yelling at you. What would you want to say to her?
She makes me feel like a baby, and she needs to understand that I don't do everything exactly the way she does it. Maybe I could keep my stuff around the rest of the house picked up and ask her to leave my room alone.
Is that something you think you could do?
I guess I could try.
Okay, now it's your turn to practice these skills. When you're finished, you're ready to move on to Chapter 3, Reflective Listening.